Hello, you are watching Red Flag Radio. Enjoy watching.
Hey Reddit, I never thought I'd be the guy posting here, but here we are. I've been married to my wife, Lena, 34 female, for 7 years. I'm 36M. We met at work, dated for 2 years, and everything felt like a perfect match back then. She was fun, confident, always the life of the party. I guess I ignored the fact that she also needed that attention like a plant needs sunlight. About 6 months ago, things started to feel off. She became weirdly protective of her phone, like even taking it into the bathroom, sleeping with it face down under her pillow. When I asked, she brushed me off with, "You're being paranoid, babe. Chill." I also noticed she started going out with the girls more often. Before she was a homebody. Now, every other weekend, she's out until 2 or 3 a.m. Whenever I'd ask who she was with, it was always, "You don't know them. They're my old college friends." I kept telling myself I was overthinking. I love her, and up until now, I trusted her completely. But something in my gut was screaming at me that something wasn't right. It happened on a random Tuesday night. She'd fallen asleep on the couch, her phone buzzing every few minutes. Normally, I'd never go through her stuff. I always thought trust was sacred. But this time, the buzzing wouldn't stop. Curiosity got the better of me. I picked up the phone, and the screen lit up with a message preview. "Can't stop thinking about last night. Same time tomorrow? Winky face? M." My heart dropped. I opened the thread, hand shaking, and scrolled. They were weeks' worth of texts, flirty, graphic, filled with inside jokes I didn't understand. Photos, too. Nothing innocent about it. My first thought wasn't even anger. It was disbelief. I stared at the Lena I thought I knew, laughing in her sleep 2 feet away, while a completely different version of her lived inside that phone. I didn't wake her up. I just put the phone back down and sat there until morning, my chest tight, my mind racing. The next morning, I couldn't hold it in. Over breakfast, I just blurted out, "Who's M?" She froze for half a second, then laughed, a fake, high-pitched laugh. "Wow, really? You're snooping through my phone now? That's pathetic, Alex." I told her I saw the messages. Her face hardened instantly. "You're overreacting. M is just a friend from work. We were joking around. God, you're so insecure sometimes." I pressed her. "Joking around? About last night and meeting up tomorrow?" And that's when she got nasty. She stood up, slammed her coffee cup in the sink, and snapped, "You're twisting everything. Maybe if you paid more attention to me, I wouldn't need to have friends who actually make me feel good about myself." I felt like I'd been punched. She stormed off, grabbing her bag, saying she was going to work early. The last thing she threw over her shoulder was, "Don't text me while I'm driving." I just sat there, stunned, wondering if I'd really just been gaslit in my own kitchen. The whole day I spent pacing the house, checking my phone like an addict. No text from her, no explanation, just radio silence. At first, I was angry. Like, how dare she flip this on me? But the anger didn't last. It turned into this crushing sadness that sat in my chest like a boulder. I couldn't eat, couldn't focus. Every time I closed my eyes, all I saw were those texts and her laughing it off like I was crazy. Around noon, I texted her, "We need to talk tonight. No excuses." She didn't respond. Hours passed. My brain was running through every possibility. Was she with him right now? Was she even planning on coming home? By 7 p.m., she finally walked in like nothing happened, scrolling through her phone, ignoring me completely. I tried to start the conversation, but she cut me off with, "Not now. I had a stressful day." I just shut down. I felt like I was living with a stranger. The next day, I tried again. "Lena, we need to talk about what's going on." She sighed dramatically like I was asking her to do my taxes. "Alex, I told you, nothing's happening. Can we not do this every day? It's exhausting." But then she slipped. She mentioned she'd been at Jen's place the night before. I know Jen. Jen moved to Texas last year. I called her out on it, and she immediately got defensive. Oh my God, you're seriously keeping tabs on my friends now? It was a different Jen, okay? I have more than one friend named Jen. It felt like being in quicksand. The more I tried to hold on to the truth, the deeper I sank into her web of lies. Later that night, her phone lit up again while she was showering. Another message from M. Can't tomorrow come soon enough. Miss your touch. I took screenshots, emailed them to myself. I didn't confront her then. I wanted to have undeniable proof when the time came. But the sickest part, she came out of the shower, kissed me on the cheek, and asked if I wanted to watch a movie together. By the end of that week, I couldn't take it anymore. Every girls' night out felt like another dagger. I started piecing things together. Her credit card statements showed dinners for two at places we'd never been, rideshare receipts at odd hours, even a hotel charge from the previous weekend. I confronted her that Friday evening with everything I'd found. I laid the screenshots, receipts, and text logs on the table like evidence in a courtroom. She didn't even flinch. Instead, she rolled her eyes and said, "Wow, you've really gone full stalker, huh? This is so pathetic, Alex." I pressed her. "Who is M? Are you sleeping with him?" She scoffed and muttered, "You're blowing up my life over some stupid texts. He's just a friend. We talk. Big deal." When I pointed out the hotel charge, she suddenly got angry. "Oh my God, that was for work. You think I have time to cheat on you? Grow up." She stormed out of the house, slamming the door so hard the picture frames rattled. I didn't follow her. I just sat there staring at the pile of evidence, wondering how much more proof I needed before I stopped letting her lie to my face. That night, Lena never came home. No texts, no calls, nothing. By 2 a.m., I was pacing the living room, debating whether to call the police or just accept what I already knew. Out of sheer desperation, I opened the Find My Phone app we'd set up years ago. Her dot was at a hotel downtown, the same one from the charge on her credit card. I drove there like a man possessed. In the parking lot, I saw her car, parked crooked, windows fogged. My stomach turned. I didn't go inside. I didn't need to. I snapped a few pictures of her car and the hotel sign, then drove home in silence, gripping the wheels so tightly my hands hurt. At 7 a.m., she finally texted, "Sorry, fell asleep at Jen's place. Don't wait up next time." That was it. No apology, no explanation. Just another lie. When Lena finally walked through the door that morning, still in last night's clothes, I was ready. I had the hotel photos pulled up on my phone. "Jen's place, huh?" I said, holding the screen out. For a split second, her face dropped, but then she smirked. "Wow, you were actually stalking me. That's crazy, Alex. Do you even hear yourself?" I didn't back down. "I tracked your phone. I know where you were. I know who you were with." She snapped, her voice going cold. "Fine. You want the truth? Yeah, I was with Mark. And you know what? He actually listens to me. Unlike you, Mr. Perfect Husband." It felt like someone punched the air out of my lungs. Then she went on the attack. "Maybe if you weren't so boring and controlling, I wouldn't have to find someone else to talk to." I just stood there, numb. For months, I'd been twisting myself into knots trying to believe her lies. Now, hearing the truth didn't make it any better. It just made everything feel hollow. After her confession, I expected at least an apology, but instead she went nuclear. "You think this is all on me?" she yelled, pacing the living room. "Maybe if you didn't spend all your time working and actually paid attention to me, I wouldn't have to look elsewhere." I was too stunned to argue. She went on, "You're not exciting anymore. You're predictable. Mark makes me feel alive, and I deserve that." Then came the kicker. "Honestly, I don't even feel guilty. You're acting like a victim, but you pushed me to this." It was like she had rewritten our entire marriage in her head, turning me into the villain. I felt this mix of rage and heartbreak that made it hard to even speak. When I finally managed to say, "So what now?" she just shrugged. "I don't know."
Maybe you should think about why your wife had to cheat on you." I slept in the guest room that night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how the woman I loved had turned into a stranger who hated me.
The next morning, I woke up feeling hollow but clear. I couldn't keep living like this, sleeping under the same roof with someone who had no remorse for tearing my heart out. While Lena was in the shower, I packed a small bag, grabbed my laptop, and left. I didn't tell her where I was going. I just texted, "I need space. Don't contact me unless it's important." I drove to my brother's place across town. When I told him everything, he didn't even look surprised. "Man, we've all seen this coming. You've been bending over backward for her while she treats you like garbage." Hearing it out loud stung, but it also felt like a weight lifting. For the first time in months, I didn't feel like I was going crazy. That night, I turned my phone off. For once, I didn't want to read her excuses, her lies, or her guilt-tripping messages. I slept better than I had in weeks. By the next morning, my phone was blowing up. 30 missed calls, dozens of texts. They ranged from sweet and pleading, "Baby, please come home, we can fix this," to furious, "You're seriously going to abandon me like this? Grow up, Alex." By noon, she'd even looped in her mother, who left me a voicemail saying, "Marriage is about forgiveness. Don't throw it all away over one mistake." Then came the guilt bombs. "I can't live without you. You're overreacting. Mark means nothing. It was just a phase." But the thing that got me was one text in all caps, "If you leave me, I'll make sure everyone knows this was your fault." That one chilled me. I realized she wasn't sorry. She was scared of losing control. I didn't respond. I just sat with my brother, phone face down, trying to figure out if there was anything left to salvage, or if I was just holding on to a ghost of what we used to have. 2 days later, I agreed to meet Lena at a cafe, Neutral Ground. She walked in wearing the dress I had once called my favorite, like she was trying to remind me of better times. She started off soft, tears already in her eyes. "Alex, I made a mistake, okay? It didn't mean anything. I was lonely, you were distant, and Mark just filled a void." I stayed silent, letting her talk. The longer she spoke, the clearer it became that she wasn't actually apologizing, she was just trying to steer the narrative. When I told her I had screenshots, receipts, even proof of her lies, she snapped. "So what? You're gonna ruin both our lives because you can't let go of one stupid mistake?" I calmly told her I wasn't here to argue. I was here to decide whether this marriage could be saved. Her answer was a mix of frustration and disdain. "You'll never find someone who loves you like I do. You really want to throw all this away for your pride?" For the first time, I didn't feel guilt. I just felt done. Driving back from that cafe, everything just clicked. For months, I'd been clinging to this idea of the woman I married, not the person sitting across from me now. I realized I didn't trust her anymore. I couldn't picture a future where I wasn't constantly questioning where she was, who she was texting, or if another Mark would show up. That night, I drafted a simple message. "I'm filing for separation. Please don't contact me except about logistics." I sent it, turned my phone off, and just sat in silence. It felt brutal, like ripping off a part of myself, but beneath the pain was a strange sense of relief, like finally exhaling after holding my breath for months. I called a lawyer the next morning. When Lena got the message about the separation, she went ballistic. I woke up to dozens of messages. "You're making the biggest mistake of your life. You'll regret this when Mark leaves me and you're all alone. I'll make sure everyone knows how controlling you were." She even showed up at my brother's house once, screaming in the driveway that I was throwing away 7 years for nothing. My brother had to ask her to leave. But something in me had shifted. Her words didn't pierce the way they used to. They just sounded hollow. I focused on small wins, went back to the gym, reconnected with old friends, even started therapy. Each day without her drama, my head felt a little clearer. For the first time in a long while, I started to remember who I was before all the lies and gaslighting.
It's been a few months since I filed, and I'm finally breathing again. Looking back, I can't believe how much of myself I lost trying to hold together a marriage that was already gone. Lena never apologized, at least not in a way that meant anything. She still spins the story to anyone who'll listen, painting me as the cold, inattentive husband, but I've learned it doesn't matter what story she tells. I know the truth. Here's what I've taken from all this. If your gut tells you something's wrong, listen. Someone who truly loves you won't make you feel like you're crazy for wanting honesty. Cheating isn't a mistake. It's a choice, and it says more about them than it ever could about you. If anyone reading this is where I was a few months ago, wondering if you're overreacting, please trust yourself. I wasted months drowning in doubt and denial. Now I'm free. And honestly, that's worth everything.